Good afternoon, dear students. In the last few lectures, we have completed the very first part of our second unit, and that is photosynthesis. And today we are going to discuss respiration, introduction, and mitochondria as respiratory site. So, first of all, we should know what is respiration. So, in respiration, what happens? Energy is stored as organic food in plants. Actually, this is a part of a photosynthesis in which organic food is stored in plants. But in respiration, plant need energy for further process. Plant needs energy for other physiological activities like growth, reproduction. So all living organisms require such energy to carry out these kind of physiological activities. So in respiration, what happens? Energy is released when organic food is oxidized during respiration. So in photosynthesis, this organic food is stored, and in respiration there is a breakdown of this complex organic food material into the simpler one, and then there is a release of energy. Now, do you remember this reaction in which there is a involvement of 6 CO2 molecules from the atmosphere plus 6 H2O gives a complex organic substance, that is glucose, C6H12O6. It gets stored in the process of photosynthesis, and now in respiration what will happen? There is a breakdown of such complex organic substances into the simpler one, and there will be energy will be released out. In respiration, what happens? Potential energy in food is converted into kinetic energy, and this is the energy releasing and energy supplying process. The energy released is of two types. One is heat energy and second one is the chemical energy. So first of all, we should know the basic definition of the respiration. So what is respiration? It is an intracellular oxidation process in which complex organic substances are broken down into simpler substances with stepwise release of energy. Means organic substances like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, all these complex organic substances are broken down into simpler substances, and there is an involvement of stepwise release of energy. So this is the definition of respiration. Now let's see the what are the raw materials, what are the basic product and byproduct of this respiration. So raw materials are glucose and oxygen. You remember that photosynthesis process in which there is a production of glucose molecules and oxygen molecules. So these are the raw materials. Then product is 38 ATPs and byproduct is the carbon dioxide. Some carbon dioxide is released out and some carbon dioxide is used in the process of photosynthesis. So this is the reaction, that is C6H12O6 plus 6 molecules of CO2 is get break down into 6 molecules of H2O plus 6 CO2 plus 38 ATP. This much energy will be released out in presence of some enzymes. We will discuss it in very detail. So you just remember that there is a breakdown of complex organic substances into simpler one. Now let's see the overview of respiration. So respiration involves two processes. One is the gaseous exchange and second one is the catabolic process. In gaseous exchange there are two types of respiration. One is the external and second one is the internal respiration. And catabolic processes, there is exergonic process. Now what is exergonic process? Exergonic process is a positive flow of energy from the system to the surrounding. And then second point is formation of water. So this is just an overview of respiration, in which gaseous exchange will occur and catabolic processes will be proceed. Now let's talk about the types of the respiration. So there are two types of respiration. Number one is aerobic respiration and number two is anaerobic respiration. So what is aerobic respiration? The oxidation of the glucose with the help of atmospheric oxygen is called aerobic respiration. And anaerobic respiration, the partial oxidation of organic food in the absence of atmospheric oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. Means see, in anaerobic respiration there is a involvement of oxygen molecule, and in anaerobic respiration there is, in the absence of oxygen molecule, the reaction takes place. See both these reactions, that C6H12O6 plus 6CO2 gives 6O2 gives 6 CO2 molecules and 6 molecules of H2O plus 38 ATP, while in anaerobic respiration only 2 ATP molecules or 2 ATP generated. Anaerobic respiration is having very small period of time. When there is a lack of oxygen, then anaerobic respiration will occur. So in aerobic respiration there is involvement of oxygen molecule, and anaerobic respiration there is absence of oxygen molecule. And it also having a very big difference in release of energy, that in aerobic respiration 38 ATP generated and in anaerobic respiration only 2 ATP generated. Now you know that there is a breakdown of complex organic material or substances, but you should know which are these molecules or substances which are get oxidized. So these are known as respiratory substrate. The organic substances which are oxidized in cellular respiration for releasing energy are called respiratory substrate. So all the following substrates are the respiratory substrate. They include carbohydrates, fats and proteins. So carbohydrates are glucose, fructose, starch, glycogen and sucrose. Fats are, when carbohydrates are exhausted, fats are used as respiratory source, and what are proteins? Used as respiratory substrate under starvation. So the most important respiratory substrates are carbohydrates. So for the better growth, for other physiological activities, plant need energy, and plant itself stored its complex food material, and when plant needs energy, it will oxidize its own complex organic substances into its simpler form. So all these complex molecules are carbohydrates, fats and proteins. So let's talk about the energy, and that is ATP. ATP is energy rich organic compound which stores biologically usable form of energy. This ATP is universal carrier of chemical energy in living world. The energy, this ATP energy currency of a cell. Then energy released when ATP is hydrolyzed to ADP and AMP. ADP is adenosine diphosphate and adenosine monophosphate. Then energy is stored when ADP and AMP are phosphorylase to ATP. So ATP is a form of energy which need to the plant and all other living world for its biological or physiological activities. Let's talk about its structure. It is a ribonucleotide consisting of 3 components. One is adenine, second is ribose, and 3 phosphate group. So it is known as the nucleotide, means there is a adenine, there is a sugar molecule, that is ribose, and 3 phosphate group. If there is only two substances, that is adenine and ribose, then it is known as the adenosine. So there is just a difference. If there is involvement of phosphate group, then it will be a nucleotide, and if there is only two substances, that is adenine or guanine or thymine plus only sugar, then it will be a adenosine or cytosine, etc. First phosphate group is attached to ribose and then to each other in a linear fashion. So these are the components of this ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. Why adenosine? Because there is adenine and ribose sugar. And why triphosphate? Because there are 3 phosphate group attached. So this is the structure of this ATP. This is the adenine, this is the adenosine, means adenine plus ribose sugar, and this is the phosphate group. So it is a adenosine triphosphate. So this is the basic structure of ATP molecule, and it consists of adenine and ribose sugar and phosphate group. Now let's see the mitochondria. So this is the mitochondria, and it is one of the cytoplasmic cell organelle which is present in all eukaryotes, and it acts as a main site for respiration. This mitochondria was first observed by the scientist Kolliker, and the name mitochondria given by a scientist C. Benda. And all of you know that this mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of a cell. So let's see its structure. Mitochondrial membranes. The membrane consists of, one is the outer membrane, then there is the inner membrane, then there are cristae, and there are elementary particles present on this cristae. Second is the mitochondrial chamber, that involve outer membrane and inner membrane. So let's talk about mitochondrial membrane. Outer membrane, it is permeable to certain solutes, and it consists of 40% lipids and 60% proteins. Then inner membrane, it consists of 80% proteins and 20% lipids, and it is selectively permeable. Selectively permeable means it depends on a need of for the further reactions. So inner membrane is selectively permeable, and outer membrane is the permeable to certain solutes. Then cristae, inner membrane enfolded into the matrix, means there is a kind of invagination in inner membrane, and that is known as the cristae. It is encloses a narrow space called intracrystal space, and it contains enzymes for respiration. Then elementary particles, they are present on inner surface of inner membrane, and these elementary particles are named as F1 particles, or it is also known as oxysomes, and these are ranged between 10 raised to the power 4 to 10 raised to the power 5 in a single mitochondrion. So this is about the mitochondrial membrane. Now let's see what are the mitochondrial chamber. So the number one is outer chamber, which is present between outer and inner membrane. It is filled with watery fluid and few enzymes. It temporarily stores ATP molecules after synthesis. And second one is the inner chamber. It is central cavity of a mitochondrion filled with more dense semi-fluid granular matrix. Matrix contains enzyme, DNA, RNA, ribosomes, and 2 to 6 circular double stranded of molecular DNA. Now see this basic structure of a mitochondria. This is the inner membrane, this is outer membrane, and the space in between inner membrane and outer membrane is known as the intermembrane space. Then this is the matrix, these are the granules and DNA, and these are the cristae on which F1 particles or oxysomes are present. So this is the invagination of this inner membrane, and it is known as the cristae, and also there is a presence of ribosome. So as you know that mitochondria is the site for respiration, and which kind of respiration is present? That is aerobic respiration. Yeah, anaerobic respiration is also there, but when there is a lack of oxygen, but normally there is a aerobic respiration, and aerobic respiration involves different processes or 4 steps, and these are glycolysis, oxidative decarboxylation, Krebs cycle also known as TCA cycle, and electron transport system. So here you can see there is a glycolysis process and there is a TCA cycle, and also there is the electron transport system or cycle on this inner membrane. We will discuss it one by one. You just remember the basic definition of respiration, aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration, and the difference between both of them, and a mitochondria, a site for respiration. In the next lecture we will talk about the glycolysis. So till then, see you. Thank you so much.